Welcome to the community chapter of Authenblissity Reset. This chapter is different from the relationships chapter, which focused more on one-to-one relationships. In this chapter, we're going to be looking at how we relate to groups of people. So we are going to take a very broad definition of community. These can be communities that you're a part of. So this could be a book club or maybe a volunteering group. If you do social justice work, that is definitely a community as well. But we can also look at online communities that you're a part of, whether that be a subreddit or a group on Facebook, or perhaps there's a community that you're a part of that you're not really active in, but you're a part of that community by virtue of a characteristic about yourself. So for example, I used to be an active member of the Wong's Association, which is based on our last name. While I'm no longer active in that association, I still get the newsletter and I still, in a sense, identify as being part of that community. As well, I identify as Chinese Canadian, so I feel like I'm a part of that community, even though I'm not part of any formal groups. So we're going to be taking a very, very broad definition of community. We're not going to be doing any gatekeeping here where we look at a community and say, well, that's not technically a community because this, that, and the other. We're going to be very inclusive of many different communities here. And as you go through this chapter, it's up to you to define what communities mean to you and what threads of community are in your life. So if you've been following along with this series, the next part of the video will be very familiar to you. We're going to go through what you can expect if you join me in this community reset. The first section is Arrive. I share a personal story at the beginning of the chapter with my own relationship with community, and then there are 3 exercises that follow. If you don't want to read the personal story, you can skip that as well as the first exercise, and you can start at the second exercise, which is word cloud. The second section is Observe, and there are 2 exercises in this section. The first exercise, which is called Journal, involves 7 days of self-observation in terms of what communities are you noticing or interacting with during the day. So at the end of the day, there are a series of questions that you can answer, or you can just jot down notes throughout the day, any type of self-observation you'd like to make in terms of how you relate to the communities you're a part of or that are around you. The patterns exercise follows the 7 days of self-observation, and you'll go through your journal entries and pick out any patterns that stand out to you, and there are a series of sentence stems to help you do that. In the Explore section, which is one of my favorite sections, you're presented with 10 different exercises and you're asked to choose 2 or 3 exercises to complete. The exercises are really different, so you can read the title of the exercise along with a 1-sentence description of each of the exercises and just follow your curiosity when you're choosing which ones to complete. Moving into the Connect section, which is the most difficult section in this book, so go slowly and go gently as you move through the exercises in this section. There are 5 exercises and you can skip or modify the exercises as you see fit. Again, just follow your intuition here. That's a part of listening to your inner compass, is changing things up or skipping things that you don't want to do right now. Take this as an opportunity to practice listening to your inner compass and trust that you know yourself best. Now, if you do feel a little bit of resistance or a little bit of an edge, that is totally okay and very much to be expected when you're doing inner work. Trust your inner compass's judgment about whether you want to proceed, whether you want to kind of like play with the edges a little bit this time around, or whether you want to skip the exercise and maybe try it another day or not at all. And if you start an exercise and you don't want to finish it, that's okay too. You're really in control of your journey here. And the goal of this book is really for you to tune into yourself, not to complete all of the exercises. Finally, we move into the last section, which is Reflect. There are 3 exercises in this chapter, and I think they are a little bit lighter and a lot more fun after a more challenging Connect section. So these 3 exercises basically look back on your journey through this chapter to pull out all of the things that you learned about yourself, and they also help you look ahead to see what things you might want to try moving forward. forward. That is the community chapter in a nutshell. I will leave the link to my website down below in case you're interested in the book and you don't have a copy already. And as well, if you would like to join me in this community reset, but you can't afford the book at this time, I have a pay what you can option for the PDF version of this book, and you can access that at the same link. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll be back in a few weeks' time with how I did with my community reset. Until I see you in my next video, please take care and bye for now.